You know, believe it or not, I always dreamed like this, you know what I mean? But I couldn't picture it being this sweet coming back on, 13 years in, where it all started. Team struggling right now, and I think it's definitely a confidence booster for us.
I mean, it's only right. It's only right that the ball find Rondo's hands some way, somehow, and he's able to drain it. He's one of our captains on our team, one of our catalysts. And he might not talk about it, but I know he's excited as hell to play here in the Garden, and then to make that shot right there, it was big time for our team.
For us to come out and with everything we've been dealing with, not just trade rumors, but freaking injuries and, imbalanced rotations and everything, it was great just to get a win, and, we can build on this potentially.
All right, Sarah, so let's just take a step back. Where do the Lakers stand now? They don't get AD, but with the team they have, they come out with this win, a win like this over Boston. Where do they stand?
In what could have been a crushing day for the Lakers, the way in which it finished, they should feel very good about where they sit. And if we, at the beginning of the season, had talked about this, there was no expectation that they were going to get Anthony Davis. So I think when you look at the big picture of where they're at, a game and a half out of that 8th seed, I think 3 games out of the 6th seed, you got LeBron James back. And the interesting part of this group, and I know it's been talked about quite a bit, as Kyle Kuzma alluded to everything they've been dealing with, the trade rumors. Trade deadline's over. This is their team. This is their group.
Yes.
Unless they're active on the buyout market. But other than that, this is the group. So now they know. These young players who had never dealt with that, never dealt with trade rumors and what was going to happen. Where am I going to be? Am I still going to be with the Lakers after this? Now they know I can just go out and play. And I think it's not only about those young players. I think for LeBron James. And we've seen LeBron, deal with so many challenges, so many obstacles throughout the course of his career. That's where he thrives. Now he can lock in and know this is the group I need to leave, and I think that win proved that, and it's really a catalyst, I think, for what they could do now through the rest of the year.
I'm going to pose a question to you, because I know with you following the NBA, you talk about the relationships between the younger players, the ones who are emerging trying to be stars, and the guys who are established players, and not necessarily stars, but guys who have traveled around the league. Because what I thought happened yesterday was Lance Stevens and Tyson Chandler, their ability to be able to make plays. Tyson Chandler, the biggest play there by an effort play, tapping the ball. Lance hit some shots to keep them in the game.
He had some passes that were dimes.
Right.
Beautiful.
And I believe these veteran players grabbed these young guys and said, listen, man, this is our team. Like, this is part of the business. Like, we can try to understand what you guys have been through, but we're going to be going at it. And I just thought the leadership, especially there in that second quarter, because, man, this game could have gone bad. This could have ended up just like the Pacers game. What do you think about that Lance Stevens signing this offseason? People thought, oh, that's not good for them. Rondo signing. Rondo hits the game winner, a shot that they need.
Rondo also, just to build on the point, day before yesterday, group text to the team when they didn't have practice scheduled, got 10 of them in the gym together. They ran 2-on-2, 3-on-3, then to 4-on-4. For a lot of the young guys, the day before the trade deadline, getting their mind off of everything going on, that's also what you're talking about.
And Rondo, he's shown that throughout his career. I mean, even in the Chicago Bulls and the way things unfolded with that.
He teamed with the young guys.
The young guys were the ones that gravitated towards him, and he helped pull them through it. And so I think that's an excellent point of what those players are able to do. And now I think they can build that chemistry, build the connectivity. I think LeBron James will continue to be the leader that he has been, but I also think what he's dealt with injuries and everything else, now I think just the entire mindset of this group changed. I also like the pickup of Mike Muscala. I think you add a shooter. I think that's another veteran player that, may be able to do a little bit of something. JaVale McGee had a big game, but I think you go down the list, and I think, now they're starting to piece together what they may look like, and that bodes well for a team once they just know this is the group we're sticking.
So, Sarah, the stretch leading up to the trade deadline, I think a lot of people thought if you don't get Anthony Davis, this is not going to be a playoff type year for the Los Angeles Lakers. How disappointing was that they didn't get him? And where do you go now as far as this season is concerned?
I think it's disappointing you didn't get them, because I also think, it obviously a big win for Boston, because that allows them to get back into that market this offseason. And it may show a little bit what New Orleans is thinking of and what you may be able to do in the offseason. But I think at that point, that's not anything that you could focus on now. For these young players, they should have a chip on their shoulders. That many players, that many draft picks were offered for one player who is a generational type player. But the fact that New Orleans wasn't even considering that offer, I like the way Kyle Kuzma came out and played. I like the way some of these guys really showed Brandon Ingram what he was able to do. He did an excellent job defensively on Kyrie.
I thought it was a confidence builder for them to give him the ball at the end.
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't able to finish, and it ended up, if Rondo doesn't make that shot, we're probably talking about, man, they were unorganized.
But on the play before, LeBron's open in the corner, begging for the ball. He usually doesn't do this. On 2 passes, Ingram has the ball. LeBron's waving his hands like this. Then it goes to Kuzma. LeBron's clapping at him. Kuzma says, "This is my shot."
Yeah, he
and you could see LeBron. LeBron was ready to be like, "You gotta be," but he made the shot, and it was so Kuzma has the confidence there. Ingram, I thought it was a bit of hero ball. Ingram saying, "No, I got this," but the confidence is important. But on the Anthony Davis front, this is, to me, a case study, and I wish I'd studied psychology more in college, in how quickly human beings can change from what they said their expectations were, and then you hear about something potentially better, and now if you don't get what's better, it's a disaster. And I'm guilty of it. I looked back. 3 days ago, I said on this show, the only thing that can salvage the Lakers season is getting Anthony Davis. But 8 days prior, I didn't even think it was possible they would get Anthony Davis, and I thought they'd be fine. Now, this summer, we all knew that this summer was the time. But as soon as that trade request came out, and you saw that option, you're like, oh, they got to do it. They have to do it. Why aren't they doing it? And as soon as it became possible, it almost felt like it was a necessity. But now that we have the benefit of hindsight and knowing, okay, it did not happen, you almost get back to reality of the plan was never acquire Anthony Davis this year. It was acquire a superstar this offseason, either Kawhi via the free agency, Kyrie all of a sudden seems an option, Anthony Davis via trade. So it allows you kind of to get back to reality. But the other part of last night that was important, and you alluded to it, is, man, they could have let go of the rope. They're down 18 with 4 minutes left in the second quarter after getting whooped. And
in the Garden, Belichick, the Patriots on the court.
And showing no interest seemingly in playing defense. You've let the Celtics put up almost 60 points in the first 20 minutes of basketball with Kyrie not doing anything. And what happened was LeBron said, we're not letting go of the rope. They scored 16 points the rest of the half. They were scored or assisted on, all of them by LeBron. He then came out in the third quarter and scored or assisted on 22 points because it was 7 assists in that quarter. And all of a sudden, an 18-point deficit turned into a 7-point lead with 2 minutes left in the third. And at that point, to me, this was going to be a positive for the Lakers no matter what. Even if, I mean, you showed in the highlight, the game-tying three took some luck. LeBron dribbled the ball off his foot.
I thought that was it.
Yeah,
the ball shaped,
there's no doubt.
It was a disjointed play.
And they got lucky that he tried to throw it off Marcus Morris's leg. Morris moves out the way, and then they get a 3 out of it. But even if they had lost, it would have been, okay, they're not giving in. But there aren't moral victories with 27 games left in a year when you're not in the playoff picture. So this was the best of all worlds for the Los Angeles Lakers, and that he didn't take 45 from LeBron. Like the last time he was in the Garden in Game 7.
Have to save
that it was, he played really well, but Kuz was excellent. Rondo was excellent. Ingram was incredibly inefficient offensively, but Kyrie said after the game how good his defense was. And so there's a lot of positives from that.
LeBron with 28 points and a triple-double in a game that he